Welcome to how YouTube and Polyphony Digital's current situations are related. As I mentioned in my last video about Polyphony Digital, I mentioned that I ain't exactly gonna be mentioning the negatives of them all that much. So I will say to preference this video, it's probably good to go ahead and watch that video because I don't really want to give PD the attention. This is more about YouTube. So therefore, what I will be referencing about YouTube compared to PD will be in like prior knowledge, meaning I'll mention something about YouTube and then y'all can make the comparison to Gran Turismo because, again, I don't want to give them the attention, and I mentioned that in the last video. But to begin with, I'll give a bit of background on YouTube stuff. Y'all might already know this, but people in general have started to get a bit mad about how YouTube is running the platform right now. Whether it be people getting demonetized for no good reason, channels being taken down, small channels not really being able to gain much in terms of whether it be revenue if they're monetized, or subscribers in general, and a lot more issues as well. The first thing that I will mention with YouTube is, for a very long time, they were the main platform in their segment, meaning just general online entertainment to see, like, videos and stuff. They're the main leader in that department. Which is, again, a bit of a reference to Polyphony Digital, we think. But lately, with YouTube, there's been many competitors starting to come out that are even free. Granted, there's been the paid subscription things for quite a while now, like Amazon and Hulu and all that. But recently, Twitch is gaining a whole heck of a heap of popularity. Twitch has been around for a bit now, but they're starting to get a legitimate hold in terms of popularity, in terms of people actually wanting to go to their platform. And all props to Twitch. That's good. They have their stuff well done on their platform. But this isn't as much complimenting Twitch as saying that YouTube themselves is starting to go a bit downhill. Sort of like how I'm not really saying anything bad about Forza. They have their own stuff that's going well too. Same with Assetto Corsa, same with Project Cars. But the big dog, who's been the big dog for a while, has their own set of problems. And with YouTube, well, if creators who have been on YouTube for a long time and have actually started to make a living on YouTube, whether it be recently or for a long time, now cannot make money on the platform when they're doing the same things they've always been doing and then people always like them doing, that's a bit messed up. If people don't have a problem with what you're doing in the majority, I really don't think you shouldn't be allowed to do it. Especially when you've been doing it for a long time. And there's way too many individuals to reference this to give a specific example. Y'all can make your own favorite YouTuber's example there. I'm saying this from a YouTuber that is not monetized, and I probably never will be. Given that sort of my main ploy is Mopar, and that's a real tangible thing that makes money, I'm not certain the legalities of me myself getting monetized, but that's not what I'm mad about. I never wanted to be monetized to begin with. And I sort of like the freedoms of not being monetized, which is more of what this touches into. Nowadays, pretty much if you say a curse word on YouTube, it's very hard to get your videos monetized. There's some creators out there who still continue as they've done for a long time. And it may involve some cussing and some profanities and stuff like that too. But a lot of people have liked and still do like their content. And some of them can still sort of carry on. But the ones that do are really caught picking big YouTubers. YouTubers with 10, 20 million subscribers or more are fine. Overall, they can still make a living. Yes, it might be less of a living, but they're still pretty good. Here's where I will get into more specific examples because I'm not sure who watches what and all that. Troy Dan Gaming. He uses a bit of profanity in his videos. So much so that he even got his reaction channel taken down completely off of YouTube. Everyone for quite a long time was liking what he did for the most part, and those who didn't probably just went away from their channel. At the end of when his channel was popular and existed, which were both at the same time, his channel was getting more popular as it continues. It's not like they deleted a dying channel. His like to dislike ratio was really hot and big and good. Well over 99% likes to dislikes. He's been doing virtually the same stuff for the entire time, but then that channel gets taken down. But if his main channel, he's still saying quite a bit of profanities, not quite as much, but I still wouldn't exactly call his channel completely family friendly. And for those of y'all who've watched his channel, y'all possibly have seen his house and his car. For those of y'all who didn't, well, he has a pretty cotton-picking nice house, and he has a C7 Corvette, and his main channel has about 1.5 million subscribers, and that's the only one he has now. He's still doing okay, so therefore it's not that big of a worry of 10 to 20 million subscriber channels. They can continue exactly what they're doing. Troy Dan Gaming has continued somewhat what he's doing, because he can't continue exactly what he's doing because he already had consequences from that, but not dire consequences. Channels that are having some pretty big and dire consequences are those with around 102,000 subscribers, give or take. Another specific example of that is Fell Race. On that particular channel, there's been specific videos about how YouTube is screwing them over. I'm not specifically going to link those in the description because there's quite a few. But I'm mentioning that as a specific example because they themselves mention the issue. The creator on there has been making videos for a very long time. People are still liking those videos, and there's not even really profanities used in those videos. That is a family-friendly channel. Essentially, it's the name, Fell Race. It's cars doing funny things. That's pretty cotton-picking, family-friendly, if I must say so myself. That channel's even having a harder time getting stuff monetized and all that. And a lot of that is direct gameplay footage, aka sort of what's like on the screen now. That channel's having a hard time getting monetized. And that channel needs to pretty much have every video monetized to make a good living. That channel is starting to move quite a bit to Twitch now. There's close to daily streams on Twitch, in which has a Patreon connected to it. So okay, that channel makes possibly more money from Twitch now than they do from YouTube. But yet they're not doing anything wrong on YouTube to their own regulations, YouTube's regulations, or just what their fan base wants. They still can't really make a living on YouTube. If you're doing the same stuff you've been doing for a long time, and you're still getting penalized for it, that's messed up. But again, that's a bit of a reference to Gran Turismo. If an individual is doing the same stuff they've been doing for a long time, and people in general have been liking it, and people they're competing against are also okay with it, the platform itself should stay okay with it too. But yet it's not. Now on to the next thing. I sort of mentioned it before, but the channel's getting downright removed. There's even specific car-related channels, car-related video gaming channels even, have gotten their demonetization removed. Drag Cars TV is one of them, and apparently that monetization is back. There's also channels like Shiny Odd that I don't know for sure if has that monetization back. But there's also complete car channels out there that have been deleted too. More than I can even give specific examples of those. And there's even car video game related channels that have just gotten a lot less views lately. And people have still always been liking their content. I'll give the most obvious and known example of it is Slap Train. 2014-2015 probably his average video on the channel was well over 100,000 views. And generally, 1 or 2 videos a month got over 1 million views. Now videos rarely ever get to 100,000 views. And I think his most popular video in 2018 got about 500,000 views-ish. That's probably the most known racing game YouTuber. Again, 1 million plus subscribers, so he's not downright doing terrible, he's still making a living. But his channel's probably lost 60-70% of its fan base. There's some channels out there that plain don't even exist anymore. When the best of the best in the genre is losing 60-70% of the fan base when still doing the same stuff everyone's always liked the same amount, that's when there's an issue out there, folks. Which again relates to Polyphony Digital. If people downright aren't even there anymore, who've been there for a long time, that kind of raises a question, doesn't it? Especially people who have been well liked in the community and have enjoyed their time in general with the platform for a long time. That's a bit messed up. YouTube as of now ain't doing much to fix it. So yes, I could go the PD route and just not give them attention and maybe it will go away. But with PD, I'm not making much of an issue on their own platform. Like, I'm not doing much anti-PD liveries or anti-PD messages and races or whatever. On YouTube, well, by default, you're watching this video. So, that's happening on their own platform. So maybe it's being done about in a different way when the post criticizing the platform is on the platform itself. I don't know. I may as well try. Because let's see what's more effective. Trying to get something done on their own platform, talking about their own platform, or just ignoring the issue whatsoever on all platforms. Honestly, I have a feeling neither is going to do much of anything, and it will all go back to the same later on. But for now, I might as well try, especially when these are valid examples. YouTube and Polyphony are basically in the same situation right now. They're the biggest company in their genre, and they're just now starting to get relevant competition, and at the point in which they're getting the most relevant competition, they're the most incompetent they've ever been. Yes, for now they're still leading, and by now a pretty comfortable margin of lead, but there's a lot of signs in which that's dwindling, and some pretty major red flags too that need to be fixed sooner than later. To be honest, I don't really predict either fixing it on either side, but I hope they both do. And see what happens, folks, but for now, I'll just end with this example. Polyphony Digital has gotten a recent FIA champion. They've moved on to completely other games in which their game is not in that whole competition, and also won that. YouTube, its most popular face there is, literally and figuratively, has won a lot of awards in his time there. And even said when he won his biggest award, getting to 50 million subscribers, that he was legitimately thinking about deleting his channel at 100 million subscribers. Okay, moving on to something completely different. If you're downright the most successful on the most successful platform, and you still want to move to something different, then maybe that's a bit of a sign. Right now, both of them are still heavily involved with the platform that they originated from. But they've both shown signs of wanting to move on as well. What will happen in the future? Who knows? At this point, one of the two is, at this point, may very well literally being surpassed of the biggest on the platform. Despite they themselves doing the same content they've been doing now for a few years, but they themselves also had to completely change what content they were doing to even adapt. PD ain't quite to this point yet. The entire platform has changed its system and how things go, but the individuals haven't necessarily yet. What's better, completely jumping ship to a new platform altogether and seeing if that works, or continuing their old messed up ways? I don't know, but as time passes, I guess we're going to find out. And to be honest, I kind of don't think either's going to turn out too good. I hope it all does. I hope it all works out, but I'd rather not have to cover YouTube anymore. And I'm just plain not gonna cover PD's stupidity for now. So that's where I'm gonna end it. The best of the best are moving on. Quite a few of the well-known people are struggling. And some people that people like in niches basically can no longer continue. That ain't worth a yee-haw on either platform in the slightest. Let's hope for the future, folks. That's really all I can say for now.